Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the General's Quarters. Please be seated. Thank you. My name is Social General Rob, and today we're going to be talking about the Ackbar Northern Evolution. Now, this is by northernhero, and I actually had a really good time with this fleet. He brought up a lot of good things that I forgot all about, and so we're just going to take a look at it. And I actually got to try the MC-80 Assault Cruiser. Yep, I'm beginning to like the Assault Cruiser, as many of you have pointed out to me already, okay? Yes, I'm beginning to like it. That command cruiser, but anyways. But I gotta stick with the I'm willing to try either one, or any other ships that you're willing. So now, that ship is up for grabs. So if you guys have another ship idea you want to use, please put it in there. Okay? Cool. So, still going to keep Grand Admiral Ackbar, of course. And the title. Now, the title, I really do like to use it because I do need that dice mitigation. But I'm willing to try the Defiance if somebody out there wants to try and make one Defiance. So, anyway, so that's the background of all this stuff that I'm willing to change after trying northernhero's version. I also tried one last time as well, and an assault cruiser, and I really did like it. And I think I have a couple of more assault cruisers coming up, and you guys will see in the future. But let's move on. So, as you can see here, northernhero made a really defensive and tough MC-80, and I mean it's got Lando Calrissian, advanced projectors, reinforced blast doors. I mean, this thing's gonna be one hard nut to crack. Okay. Didn't have ECM. Okay, sorry. And so basically, Ben, as you saw in the video, said he did not want to shoot at it and deal with trying to get through all this stuff, which I don't blame him, because even if he did some damage to me, just flip over reinforced doors, blast doors, and then boom, I get up to 3 health back. So that's a pain in the butt. Not to mention his XI7s. Yes, where I can only move one shield, but I can move all the way around my ship wherever I want, and so it doesn't matter. It only affects him a little bit, but not much. Now remember, I don't want this just going against Ben. So when you're thinking of a list, just think of a list. Doesn't matter. Don't think of the enemy. Just think of a general good list. Okay. I know we had some talk about the AMA that we were trying to figure out. Some of you asked, I should say, how Ben and I and Buster and Betty basically tried to create our lists. And so I guess Admiral Ackbar is basically the one you're going to be going for inspiration from. It's come down to that right now. I'm down to that already, and this is only version 3. So we're going to do that. But so Admiral Ackbar is your inspiration. After that, we'll fix everything else. Okay, so we'll see what happens. So in this battle, as you'll see in my deployment wasn't too bad on my part, I think personally. The only thing was that assault MC-80 was not in the fight much at all. I think I had one shot, and as you saw, it kind of went out and way around and just moved away from it. I mean, I could shoot its back end if I was like 2 or 3 maneuvers closer. That was another problem of mine, was that I should have started out slow, saw where he was going, and started turning slowly, even if I hit an asteroid or even if I hit a debris field. So I mean, he can take it. The MC Cruiser can take it, and it wouldn't bother him that much. I could have fixed it easily with engineering or whatever if I had to. So I really should have done that. Coming up and around, it was way too far out. It was way too slow compared to Destroyer or any of his ships in this game. So, you know, that was really a major, major bad part of mine, especially since I knew he was going to ignore it. Of course, Ben can say he's going to ignore something and then go right after it. But, so that was my worst part of my deployment. My assault frigate, as you see down here, the wonderful Tater, it actually went to the right area that I wanted to go, but it didn't get to the backside. It got in the front arc still. And I was trying to get around the front arc to get it around, to get into the back or someplace more survivable. Now, the assault frigate here, as you can see, has Caitlin Sholin and electronic countermeasures. Electronic countermeasures save this ship. I mean, Ben would have blown it up in one shot. But it took 3 shots, I believe, and some fighters. So, you know, that says something. So, ECMs, I'm really, really enjoying and really thinking they should be on every single ship there is. But you don't have to, by the way, guys. And I mean, if there's a little better defense done there, put it in there. So the assault frigate 2B with Caitlin Sholin, they did a decent job. I really do think they did a decent job. The re-rolling of those 3 blank reds. I mean, come on, guys. I saw those 3 blank reds, but Caitlin Sholin right there. They said, don't worry about it. You got your back. So they re-rolled, and I mean, I need that dice mitigation. I mean, that's why the MC-80's got leading shots. It's got, leading shots. It's got Lando for defense. You know, I mean, it's got quad battery turns to help out with the leading shots, which I didn't get a chance to use on Ben this time. Hopefully I will get a chance to use later on, another time. Let's go down here a little bit. So the assault frigate, like I said, it did pretty well. I was very happy with my maneuvering at this time. My deployment was pretty good. I mean, he really hurt his raiders bad. I mean, if I get one more shot in that raider, it probably would have been done. And I don't think that would give me the game, but it definitely would have given me some more points anyways. So, but anyways, I enjoyed playing it. Now we come to my MVP. Well, I call him MVP. The reason why is it's my CR90. It lasted. I mean, it outmaneuvered all his fighters and everything else. It got away from his destroyer, luckily, because it hit the assault frigate, which wasn't dead until it hit it. It has Janus Light on it, which is great in the TRCs, which I did use. That was nice. But unfortunately, that raider did what Ben and I both saw, and that was ramming. Now, at the last minute, while Ben was trying to figure out, I was like, oh man, that CR90, it's still up, it's going to run away. I mean, I don't know. Wish I had one more shot on it. And I was sitting there like, oh, please don't see it, don't see it, please don't see it. Please do not see it. And he went, wait, I can ram it. And I went, oh, no. One more health on it, that's all that I needed, I had 1 health. And so he got it. So that's Imperial Flying for you. And that's a Raider. So Raiders are just as good as CR90s. So I have to watch out for the Raiders. But I agree with Ben, by the way, that I would like to see him use Raiders more often. I think he likes them. Just as I like the CR90s. And I think he probably will say the same thing to me. I should use the CR90s more. But yeah, Ben, if you're out there listening, yeah, bring up your Raiders a little bit more, even if you're not ready to bring them to Vegas, okay? Anyways, back on to my fleet here. So now we got GR-75. Now, yes, like I said, it does not have to be the party boat, but it has a comms net and has Bright Hope on it. Again, another kind of an annoyance to Ben, just because it subtracts 1 point of damage. Bright Hope does, unless it gets in the bag. He could have sent his defenders after it, but it'd be kind of worthless points. He had the assault frigate easily more points. It's worth 85 more points. He had it so much easier to get to, and he had all those wonderful A-wings that we'll talk about in a minute, and he could just get them for even more points. So he just said, leave it alone. It's flying off into Never Never Land. It was following Ackbar, but unfortunately it just couldn't turn around. Not that it couldn't turn around, but if it did turn around, it would have been in danger still. So why give him more points? I do have to admit that I do have a tough time. Even at CR90 up there, I had a tough time convincing myself to retreat. I will say this. I'm not a tournament player. I'm a player that plays for thematic reasons. And so, even though in military, from what I understand, for those in the military, they would not let their assets just get blown up or destroyed for no reason. I really, really, really wanted to turn around some ships. And even though they're going to be in the bad arc, and it's probably a bad strategic idea, that they might have a chance of getting shot at. Now, this you can see, if you guys have ever seen the drunken party bus go right in front of the SSD. Now, that is probably a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Well, for the party bus, it doesn't seem to be, but yeah, it's gotten in front of some arcs of a SD a couple times and survived. But still, I should not do things like that unless I have to. Now, if it's following, say it's got comms in it, I need my MC-80 is going one direction, I need it to follow it, then yes, it might be put in danger. It's always going to be put in danger of the defenders, always. The defenders just move like crazy, and they all have to do is get in the back end and just blow it up. That's all I have to do. So, but I have to fight with myself. CR90, transport, doesn't matter which one of these, not to go and attack. If I see the tides are turning against me, I should just get out of there. That way, I can save points, and maybe I can regroup, maybe, the way I'm playing lately I can't, but maybe I can regroup and come back. Now, with the CR90 with only 1 health left, probably not, but but I can regroup and come back towards the MC-80, which would be bad for the CR90 because it would have to pass by everything, including his wonderful defenders there, and it probably would not have made it. Well, even though it didn't make it anyways, it had a better chance of making it. So that was the GR75. I like this GR75. I like CommsNet. I like Bright Hope. It really helps a lot. It really does. Several times you saw me passing engineering tokens over to my various ships. I believe the assault frigate really counted on it. It helped that because I turned over an engineering and I got some stuff back. Now I could be messing this up with another Batrep, and that might you see in a few more days. Well, you see my General Squadrons in a few more days about it. Because you gotta love this wonderful time warping thing that we have going on. All the holidays, and that's another reason, guys. I'm sorry that we have General Squadrons coming out a little bit later, but the holidays do take time and away from getting a chance to do all this stuff. So, and plus there's other things in life that happen. So, but anyways, moving on. Now we got down my squadrons. Now, the squadrons have stayed the same, and which I don't mind. Shara, Tycho, and A-wing, and the two A-wings. Oh, Tycho. Somebody's got to take him out and he's got to learn some how to shoot better, okay? Or they got to recalibrate his ship or something. I don't know. He's been whiffing a lot lately. I just don't know. Hopefully he'll get back on the ball again. But my plan was, and I really set up all my fighters, squadrons, into the right areas where I could wait to see where he moved, and then jump into him. So, which is why Shara and Tycho jumped into was it Jade? It's the Colonel. This one in the shuttle there, and Merrick, and he jumped into there, and they held them back. Now, he only held Merrick back for maybe one turn because Tycho whiffed everything. And I probably should have put in just a regular A-wing over there with Shara. So, I mean, yeah, Tycho has, what do you call it, scatter, and brace, but he keeps rolling those darn, especially with defenders, those darn, what do you call those accuracies, that he can just lock that down and go, hey, you gotta take it, you gotta take it, you gotta take it. And especially because he's got 2 blue dice and 2 black dice. And unfortunately, Tycho, even if he got an ace accuracy, he didn't do any damage. So it was like, thanks, Tycho, good going. He just needs to go back to flight school or something. But Shara, she did a great job. I mean, you guys saw it. She took out one defender by herself there. The 2 A-wings, they held up those other defenders, pretty well. I'm getting to learn how to use them really well. And I'm getting to learn how squadrons in general. I mean, you saw those B-wings back there a couple Batreps ago. That took out one of his quads. And Kuwait's a country, bro. Took out his quad. And basically, I mean, they did great. And Y-wings are my go-to ship. Believe it or not, ever since I saw the movies, I just like those ships. Everybody likes X-wings and who watch the movies and all that stuff. And I'm like, no, man, look at those Y-wings. They look so beautiful. And they got those little turret guns, which unfortunately the game doesn't use. But, that's so great. Cool. But, so I actually got to use them. That was a great time. Thank you, Brandon Lee. It was a lot of fun. My A-wings always use the screens. Now this is a problem too. I only use them as screens as defense. I should have attacked more because his defenders do not have counter. So they just take it. Which means if they shot back, I probably could have taken one out, maybe sooner, Merrick might have been like, well, I'm really not feeling like I should attack. Even though his best buddy's over there going, attack again. He's like, I don't think so. But so that's one reason why I like the A-wings. They can attack, and then somebody attacks them, they can counter. Now, I would love to use other squadrons and learn how to use them. Especially some of the obscure ones, like I believe Scourge and Lancer and all those. Try using them, and just to see what they're like and how they can do things. But getting back to regular X-wings and Y-wings and B-wings, that's a whole different story, guys. I mean, just get those things moving is a pain in the rear. They're so slow, but like I said, I've been staging pretty well, I think, with the squadrons. So maybe I can use those B-wings. Just maybe. I can actually get them to work. It's difficult, but maybe I can. So right now, the A-wings have been great. I mean, speed move 5 and everything else. So I can actually, even if I misjudge there, where I need to jump in, they still have the speed to do it. Now, I'm not I mean, X-Wings, they're 2 speeds slower, so I'll have to lose a little more challenge, which might be good for me. And as you saw with the X-Wings and B-Wings and Brandon Lee's Batrep, there where his evolution was of Ackbar, I moved them pretty well, and luckily there was no other squadrons on Ben's side, but I was able to move them well, and I get them to where they needed to go. So I would like to try that against when he has squadrons and see what that's like. See how well I do with that. Speed 2 slower than these guys. They're tougher though, but you know. So again, squadrons, guys. If you want to change squadrons or anything else, you got some other ideas, please feel free. And there's some obscure squadrons that we don't see us use. Like I said, the Scourge, the Lancer, and all the others. Please, try them. I mean, there might be some cheaper ones in there. I mean, I don't think there's anything cheaper than a Y-Wing, but, if you can see something in there and you go, hey, this can fit, this could actually work. Rob, try this out. Please do so, okay? And then finally we have our objectives. I made a little joke, and I think northernhero was laughing with me. When he sent me the list, he didn't send me any objectives. So I was like, well, what should I do? How should I set up? He did have one technical problem, which was on for both of us, so it was not anything a problem, which he was trying to send pictures over on how to deploy. And, I mean, we tried for weeks before I brought this out against Ben. He tried Discord, he tried email, I mean, he tried everything possible. It just wouldn't work for the pictures he had. So he did get to work at the end, but it was already, the Batrep was done. So, but anyways, that was just a technical problem. But I think in northernhero, you can correct me by the way, I deployed decently. Okay, decently. I'm not gonna say perfect, but decently. I think I know what he wants to do now for deploying, but it was hard to tell. I mean, he wrote it out, but at the same time, when you write things out, it's like, okay, the MC-80 goes here. Okay, it goes here, but how is it facing? It has to be facing tilted a little bit towards the middle. Right. Is that a 45-degree angle? 25-degree angle? Or 28 degree, whatever it is. 90-degree angle? It's not really tilting. But it's again, you guys have been doing great writing to me about how to deploy. So I had to come up. So anyways, back to the objectives. Coming up with the objectives, I took advanced gun rate. That's a given. I mean, against Ackbar, that is a given to have. Yes, as you saw in the Batrep, he said there are some things in advanced gunnery he could have done, especially against like a CR-90 or the assault frigate. He probably had a couple times to get them in arc and shot twice of them. That's like a free gunnery team for him. But Ackbar, with it, he can shoot out of the same hull twice. So, no, I mean at the same hull, same ship twice. So, I mean, that really makes up for his only shoots out the sides, broadsides, because that gives him a kind of like a double arc, equal to a double arc, if you want to call it that. So, advanced gunnery is really important to be in there, I think, for Ackbar anyways. Contested outposts. Well, might have worked better for the assault cruiser, because I just had to sit there and wait for him to come close to me. And I could slow down and just wait. It could have worked better. Sensor net. Now, sensor net, both Ben and I have not played before. That's just on the Batrep. it was an interesting one, and luckily I got one more than he did in tokens, but it was an interesting one. I kind of like it. What's strategic ships or squadrons, I should say. They probably wouldn't even be more powerful if you had those in there. I think it's a VCX, and have a couple of those in there, and you could easily just shove them right back to you. So even if you go into them, Ben would only be able to move it 2 away. The VCX can move it 1 back, or 1 or 2 back. So it would really kind of ruin his movement of those. Now, most likely, if I'm moving them away, he's going to get annoyed. He's going to send some defenders out after them and take them out. Okay? But again, like I said, you guys want to throw any other ships in there that's going to make sense with the objectives, please do. Now, the funny thing is that when I talked to northernhero, and he said, oh, by the way, one of the objectives is sensor net. So 3 of us laughed because sensor net was all 3 of us picked that. northernhero, Ben, and I. Ben and I to play. northernhero picked it to put in there. So it was kind of funny that we actually picked the right one for your northernhero. But it was a good one. It was all really, really good. I enjoyed that one. And like I said, it's the first time Ben and I played it, so it was pretty cool. Now, if you guys have any other objectives that you want to try out, as long as it works with the fleet, as long as you tell me how to work the fleet, please feel free to put it in there. I mean, like I said, Ben and I never did sensor net, and then we played it. It was great. I think another one we haven't played is the Rifts as much. We might have played it once or twice. Ben might have definitely played it once or twice at the LVO, I think, and against a couple of players. But I have not played it. So if you think Rift is going to make sense with this, sure, I'll try it. If you think volatile deposits is going to work, that's a scary one. But if you think that's going to work, if you can, with your fleet that you're designing for me, please do. So I really don't have any other things about this fleet, northernhero. This is actually a decent fleet, except that if I could have flown it better, I probably would have done a lot better. Kept home 1, which is my problem, back and not go off into Never Never Land, and so that Ben would just keep on going. Yeah, I mean, the CR90 was great. GS75 is just right as always. And A-Wings, I mean, you really can't go wrong with this fleet. Well, unless you fly it off in the sunset, like I did. I was the idiot anyways. But I will, one day, one of these days, I tell you. But hopefully before fall, or midsummer, whenever the Texan Open is going to be tournament, because I would like to go there to Texas and play in the tournament, as we saw Ben did in the LVO. I'm sorry, it was LSO, my bad. He's going to LVO. It'd be nice if you guys make these acronyms a little bit different. But anyways, the LSO, and I kind of liked it. As Ben and I have talked before, tournament play we've been kind of put off at. Ben's had some practice a few times with various different games in it, but the players have always been not as nice. Now the players for Armada have been great. they have been really good players. I mean, not just in style, but also in sportsmanship, and that is what Ben and I like. I mean, you know, it's going to turn us off if we get a lot of people. It's going to be like, well, unsportsman. We'll just say that, just to be nice. But yeah, so you guys keep on working on these fleets. I'm really enjoying them, and thank you again. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Dismissed.